What is up, mental patients? My name is Tormental. Welcome back to Camp Cadaver, a game coming out hopefully soon-ish, at least in alpha/beta mode, early alpha, I guess. And yeah, this is a game that is based on Mafia and Werewolf, the party games where you try to guess other people's roles, try to find the bad guys, and you may be more familiar with Town of Salem as an adaptation of those two games. So this is yet another adaptation of those two games, but without all the bullshit surrounding Town of Salem. Did you know? We'll just put a little pin on this. We'll put a little note here. Did you know that Town of Salem got Kickstarter donations to translate their game into other languages? Did you know that they got Kickstarter donations? They got a goal to translate their game to other languages. And so what they're doing now is asking their players to translate everything for free. Where'd that money go? Where'd that money go? Okay, anyway, back to this isn't a video about Town of Salem. It just came to mind. Thought it was an interesting thing. Let's talk about Camp Cadaver. Camp Cadaver has let's see, about 50 roles. We've got 48 roles so far, and some of them are familiar, like the Tycoon. The Tycoon is essentially like a godfather. He selects one person to kill each night. If you have a butler, which is like the mafioso, he will kill for you. The Tycoon is night immune and appears as normal to the counselor, which is like the sheriff. Okay, you get the idea? It's basically like Godfather, but it's called Tycoon. The villains in the game, which are the mafia-type people, are themed sort of after, loosely themed after like a rich dude, a tycoon, and like his staff, like the people he hires, the people he works with, so on and so forth. You've got the Tycoon, you've got the butler, who's like the mafioso, you've got the maid, who's like the janitor. You've got his mistress, which is like the consort. Different things like that. And the Tycoon and the villains basically are the bad guys who want to, bulldoze the camp. They want to knock down the school. They want to build, shit on the land. They want to buy the land. They want to, they're like the evil 1980s movie villains who were like, oh, we gotta buy this ski resort and turn it into a, fracking operation. If you've ever seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that's a reference to that show. But anyway, so yeah, we have roles that are like the roles in the other games, but let's talk about some of the new roles that are only in our game. What are we gonna look at? Well, let's look at the bouncer. The bouncer selects himself at night to kill anyone who tries to attack the Tycoon. You may protect the Tycoon by selecting yourself up to 3 nights. So the bouncer is essentially like a veteran, which in our game is called the loner. But the veteran, which you may be more familiar with, selects themselves. They're a good guy. They select themselves, and anyone who visits the veteran dies if the veteran selects himself that night. So the bouncer is a bit different in that he selects himself, but he'll kill anyone who tries to attack the Tycoon. So if you have a bad guy who's a slasher, like a serial killer, if you have a rebel who's like the vigilante, if you have somebody trying to go after the Tycoon and test whether he's night immune, trying to kill him, if the bouncer is in the game, if the bouncer is on the villain's team and he selects himself, he's going to kill anybody who comes to try to attack the Tycoon. Boom. Dead. So that's a very useful role, I think. You have to use it very carefully, though, because you only get 3 attempts. So if you have a feeling that the Tycoon is about to be attacked, about to be tested to see if he's immune, if a vigilante or rebel, as we call them, is accusing them during the day, like, saying, I think that this person is, a villain, a bad guy, you could think to yourself, well, gee, someone might try to shoot him tonight to see if he's immune. So you select yourself and you kill whoever tries to attack the Tycoon. If you do succeed in killing anybody, it will usurp the villain's kill for that night. In other words, the villains select somebody to kill, but if you kill somebody as the bouncer, that's the person who dies instead. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, it will after you play the game a little while. Don't worry about it. Next up, we got the Wendigo. The Wendigo. The Wendigo selects one person to murder each night. They're basically like a serial killer or slasher. They are not night immune. And here's the reason why. If a player murders you at night, they become the Wendigo. You get that? So let's say you're the Wendigo in the game. You're going around, you're killing people, you're having a grand old time. Then the Tycoon or the Rebel or, anybody who can kill at night, the Loner, kills you. You die, okay? The person who killed you at night becomes the new Wendigo. Their role is replaced with Wendigo. If they're in the villains team, if they're in the Mafia type team, we have a special way that works so that they're not, turning into the Wendigo and then outing their team. But, basically, if you die at night, the person who kills you becomes the Wendigo, and you win if the Wendigo wins. So, you're like on a team with them. So let's say the Rebel. Do I have to tell you it's a vigilante? Do I have to keep saying that? Or do you get it now, huh? You get it? You get it? See how that works? The Rebel shoots you at night. You're dead. You're dead as a motherfucker. But the Rebel now has become the new Wendigo, and he has to go around killing people. And if he wins as the Wendigo, then you win too, with him. You're like on a team, as I said. So I think that's a pretty cool role. I think it's, you have to get used to a lot of these things, and you have to sort of maybe enjoy them in certain role setups and different things like that. Like, I wouldn't say a Wendigo would be good in a round with no killing roles, because if he's the only killing role, nobody's going to kill him and turn into the Wendigo, so what's the point? So you have to, you have to think of it in terms of expanding your horizons. But yeah. No, what else we got here? The Boogeyman. Did I do the Boogeyman yet? I don't know. The Boogeyman selects one person each night to redirect others to them. You get that? Every player that chooses to visit you will visit your target instead. So as the Boogeyman, which is neutral evil, it's an outcast, which is our neutral evil roles, you're a bad guy. You have to live to see the heroes lose. You have to see the bad guys win. But everything that somebody tries to do to you, you can redirect to another player of your choosing. So let's say someone tries to investigate you. Instead, they'll get the results for the person you select. If that same night someone tries to rollblock you, instead they'll rollblock the person you selected. If someone tries to kill you, instead they'll kill the person you selected. Now, this may seem OP, like you can protect yourself from any action, but keep in mind that people are going to start to suspect shit. If people keep selecting you, and they keep getting other people, eventually they're going to say, you know what, wait a minute, I'm getting someone else, it's not this dude. Maybe he's the Boogeyman. So you got to use it kind of sparingly, you got to use it smart, you got to try to get things done, maybe to sow the seeds of doubt within the community. Like, redirect somebody and then, claim they were lying when they said they did something, different things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The Boogeyman, I like him. I think he's pretty cool. What else we got here? What else we going to look at? Let's look at one more. What else we going to look at? The Journalist. The Journalist is a support role for the heroes. You can select one person during the day to speak with them anonymously at night. So, in other words, I could select any living player in the game, and at night I'll be talking to them anonymously. They'll see my name as Journalist, and I'll see them as who they are. And, it's good if it's another hero, if it's a good guy. We can sort of collaborate. We could try to figure something out. Work together. Maybe I could give him some suggestions, or he could tell me what he knows without any fear, that type of thing. If it's a bad guy, maybe I'll pick up on something they say. Like, maybe they're really tight-lipped, and they're kind of awkward, and they're kind of strange, and I kind of, scum read them a bit and say, that person was really strange last night when I was talking to him. Maybe he's bad. You have a secondary power, which is, if you select yourself during the day, you'll speak to a random person in the game. So, you'll both be anonymous. Like, you'll see them as Source, and they'll see you as Journalist. But, it sort of is like a secondary thing. Like, if you don't know who to talk to, like, maybe it's early in the game. Like, it's right away, first night, you don't really know who you want to talk to, so you just select yourself during that day. And that night you talk to a random person, you just go, hey, how you doing? And they're like, oh, what's up? Hey, the Journalist is talking to me. And you say, so, any idea, what you want to do in this round? How you want to play it? What do you want to tell me anything about yourself? Do you want to give me your role and your name? Do you want to do anything like that? And they may say, no, I'm good, because you're not going to be able to tell who they are, so they could just turn you down. They could say, I'm not telling you shit, fuck you. I'm the serial killer, get bent. But, yeah, if they're good, maybe you could work together, or maybe they're lying to you. But yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting support role, because it brings the night chat to the heroes, to the good guys. but it brings the night chat in through a single roll, and he basically has to try to figure out how best to use it. So yeah, is that 4? Did I do 4? We did Bouncer, Boogeyman, Journalist, and Wendigo. That's 4. That's 4. You know what? Fucking, that's it.